Alright, so here was the idea that came to me about how to make it so you could get the signal from somewhere else. And here's my lovely assistant, Sammy. She's my little girl. Alright, so you'll recognize very quickly this is the same countdown timer that sends out pulses, and here's the same single tick pulse creator. And this is the only thing I've changed about this really is the fact that I've got this hopper here which gives me a local measurement so I can compare it to the distant measurement. So Sammy, go ahead and fill that sucker right up. There it is, filled right up. Now go ahead and take it all out and just leave one in. Very nice. So Sammy's going to be my assistant, changing the value at A that we're going to measure. And now we're going to discuss some of the new things. You notice that there's no transmit button here. And you notice that there's a single line and it runs all the way over to there. Well, the first new thing is this little invention of mine. The idea is that you can send the reset pulse back this way and then get the signal pulses back that way. There were a couple issues with it. The first big issue was this multi-directional repeater. Now this isn't my invention, this is available on the internet, but what this actually does is if a pulse comes from that way, it transmits it that way correctly and vice versa. It would be really inconvenient though to build a long distance run with 20 of these things, but for this short run this functions. The next thing was, how do I get the signals to go where I want them to? Well, when the pulse came from here, I wanted to make sure that it didn't interfere with anything. And that's not so much of a problem, but this little device right here, I didn't want it when my outgoing pulses came, I didn't want them to mess with my incoming pulses. Every time they'd come through, they would send a pulse back to the reset, and it would constantly reset and it would work. This right here is a very simple directional limiter. So, if the signal strength coming in here, obviously it'll be 15 coming in here, 14, 13, and then 13 in both sides. This right here says, well, 13 in this way, 13 in this way, they cancel each other out, the output is 0, and nothing gets transmitted. Whereas if the signal strength is coming from over here, let's say it's down to 5 at this point. 5, 4 goes in there, 3, 2 goes in here, well, 2 minus 3 leaves some, and so when the signal comes from that way, this gets its reset pulse, and when the signal comes from this way, that gets nothing. And that's all this is. And I have a similar one way down on this side. This is the exact same circuit, so when pulses come from this way, they go through. When they come from the reset side, they don't. So, fill that right up, Sammy. Fill it right up. Technical difficulties, there we go. She's filling it up. While she's doing that, I'll show you what's going on over here. This button right here does two things. It clears the local memory, which is what my old reset button did, but it also sends a pulse back out and triggers a new memory state. So there, I can see she's filled it out, and right here my value is 0, so I say, you know what, I want to know what the value is over there. Reset my value locally, it sends out the pulse, and then in come the return pulses. And the signal value over there is 15, and I get to know it. But there is a bit of a delay. Now reset the signal to 1, let's say. While she does that, I'll come back over here. When I hit my reset button, the reset pulse goes out, and then the return pulses come back. Let me get it down to 1. There we go. It's at 1. I hit the reset. It resets the local signal. Everything drops. And then the return pulse comes. And the nice thing about this is you can't accidentally retransmit and add, because as soon as you push the button, the signals refresh. But the downside is it takes quite a bit of time if the signal strength is 15. Update it to 15, and you'll see what I mean. Fill it. Sorry, I wasn't clear. Fill it right up. You notice the signal strength rises right up to 15, but then it takes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 15 seconds to get the new signal. It works, but it takes a little bit. Of course, if the new signal strength is 0, as soon as I push the button, the whole job's done. So this is one way to do it. And you see over here I've just got my basic adder, the same as I had in the last video. And over there I just have, it's all the same. And here it is. Clear it out, Sammy. Let's reset it. Empty it right out. It's empty, and I push the button and, oh look, instant signal transmission. But I can't really tell for sure until the updates stop coming. So, there it is. Bye, Sammy.
Where are you?
Way over here.
Bye.